All right, welcome to Citizen Sleeper 2 Starward Vector. It's been, what, 2 years ish since the first one came out? And yeah, I've been really excited that this one came out. Um, it's a lot earlier than I thought, for sure. When it was announced, I was expecting, April, May, somewhere along those lines, but it's here now. So yeah, we're gonna just jump straight into it. Um, might need to do some audio balancing. So just give me a moment. I'll just boost the audio up a little bit here. Okay, that should be good. Hopefully we get to edit the audio a bit more once we're in, but otherwise, let's go ahead and start. Yep. So we have safe, risky, and dangerous. I don't want to go dangerous straight up. Um, Difficulty can be changed anytime from the pause menu. That's fine. Just because for the first run, I do want to complete the game and not worry about insta death. So yeah, I think we're just gonna go with risky. That feels okay. Yep, here's our stat spread. So we have engineer, interface, endure, intuit, engage. We have operator here. That's a little loud to me. Okay, that's a bit better. Engineer, skills. I don't remember all of these. Operator sleepers are built to work with drones and robot machines over expertise working in computer systems, but are more fragile, so we can't do much with physical stuff. Reboot allows us to re-roll dice, a risky but potential powerful move. Extractor, high level of physical endurance, struggle with intuition. Their rally skill allows them to motivate those in their team, boosting their crew dice. I think that's new. And we have one more, machinist. Built to repair and modify automated systems. Very skilled engineers. They struggle with social stuff. I'm definitely leaning towards operator, and we just because a lot of the physical stuff, if I remember right, lets us work around physical tasks. Accrue stress to focus and action dice, +1 stress +2, and focus lowest dice. +1 stress, reroll lowest dice. Okay, we're just gonna go with this. I think that's okay. We're really bad at endure. We have not great engineering, but good interface, good engage, good intuit. We're fine with that. Let's just go with default. In the moment before waking, the dark space before conscious thought, you struggle to find pieces of yourself. There's our, right, okay. And here, up here's our dice, that's ours. Not stress, that's our, power, if I remember correctly. Usually these pieces come with a particular cadence, each appearing sequentially like the boot process of an old terminal. First, your body, artificial, compromised, but relaying sense data all the same. Then its context, the breeze of air filtration, the soft contact of your birth in 0G. Then emotion, coming into focus, coming into your body, bringing with it that first instinct, the one that has framed your past 100 cycles, fear. But that familiar sequence does not arrive. Instead, you're unmoored in space, your body distant, your context silent, even your emotions somehow obscured and scattered. Among all that disarray, only one familiar thing arrives, the fear. It is a scrambled, panicked fear, the drowning fear, the falling fear, the fear that makes you reach desperately for any stable point. It is the fear that tells you something is wrong. Something is very wrong with you. Wake up, sleeper. The voice is whispered in your ear, an act that makes you suddenly aware of your head pulsing in pain, your body rigid with tension. Sleeper. A familiar name. A mind copied, emulated, a body built, implanted. One person sleeping until their debt is worked away. Their double being made to work, to be consumed, and eventually to be destroyed. A proxy, an emulation, a sleeper. That is what you are. But you escaped. You remember that now. Broke free of your corporate creators, SNARP, in search of a future. You cannot remember the details of your escape, but you know the fear has been with you ever since. All of a sudden, you remember you have eyes, and your eyes flicker open. I wonder if this is an actual continuation. I doubt it. Pale eyes and a pale face, Lane. The name comes with its own specific sensation of fear, one you recoil from instinctively. Sorry to interrupt. A sharp smirk. But this ends here. You search your mind for more than a name. Is this how you reward my generosity? Lane is leaning over your horizontal floating body, looking down into your eyes. I took you in, protected you, gave you a purpose. You try to look away to the corners of your vision to find something you understand. Your body does not respond. But I suppose that wasn't enough. He reaches into the pocket of his jacket and retrieves a small vial. This wasn't enough. The vial glitters. It is an object you know and have known for a long time. Stabilizer. The drug that keeps your artificial body, your immolated mind from inevitable decay. The only balm for your planned obsolescence. The liquid roiling in the vial fills you with disgust. Lane pockets the vial. But it would be wasted on you now. After what you have done to this body of yours. He looks at you with palpable disgust. Lane's eyes scan your body. As they do, you become aware of the wires and tubes attached to you. Those were meant to free you from your dependence, from the stabilizer and the control it grants Lane. They are free, you piece of shit. They don't need you anymore. The voice comes from somewhere behind Lane's head. It is a voice you know. But when you search your mind to try to understand why, you only find dizzying darkness. Shut him up. Lane barks the command, and you hear the sounds of impact of pain from somewhere else in the room. You try to move your limbs again, and this time you feel a flicker, the twitch of a finger. You feel the extension and compression of synthetic muscle. Free, are you? Lane smirks. You were free when I disabled your tracker, when I gave you the stabilizer you need. He scans your body with angry eyes. Now you aren't free. You're just broken. I had such big plans for you, Sleeper. I invested in you. Lane grips your arm hard and you feel a jolt of reaction. You will the arm to move. But you ruined all that. Lane speaks louder over the sound of the struggle behind him. I will try to preserve your body, of course. I have my own uses for it, but your immolation... You feel one of his hands searching behind your head. He finds and grips a thick cable running into the port at the base of your skull. I will burn that out. Lane jerks forward, slamming across your body, then spinning away out of sight. You feel yourself rolling, the cables plugged into you, looping and wrapping around your limbs. And then you feel hands steadying you, pulling cables. You glance around wildly and you see someone diligently unplugging you. Then you meet his eyes. Hey, he waves a hand in your dazed face. We need to move. Lane won't be out long. He unloops a cable from around your wrist. Sleeper, help me out here. You blink slowly. Do you know this person? He leans over you and feels his hand on the connector, flicking switches, releasing the locks. Come on, come on, come on. He tugs the connector clear and pulls you up. You see the room you're in for the first time, filled with techs and terminals, wires waving everywhere, all lit by big windows looking out on an impossibly bright, sun-filled street beyond. In the corner you see the dark shape of a floating body surrounded by a glittering constellation of crimson baubles. Is that blood? Move! You're wrestled and shoved towards the door, which slides open in front of you. And then you're out in all that brightness, all that movement, gliding hard towards some unknown destination. You come to a stop in a dark alley, the one who guided you here pausing to catch his breath. He doubles over with a massive life support unit that sends a lukewarm breeze across your skin. You stare at him, trying to recall anything about him. You notice his tattered jacket, his lightweight clothes. You remember the station runs hot. Something about the power that flows through the place. He looks up and meets your eye. What's going on, sleeper? He wipes up from his forehead and it floats away in a swarm of spheres. Talk to me. Who are you? You see a concerned face across his face. Don't mess with me, sleeper. That's not funny. He comes closer, eyeing you carefully. What station are we on? He narrows his eyes, waits for his answer. You close your eyes trying to recall. You force your way through the dark to the image of a station. No, a city. Growing on the back of a vast set of hexagonal solar cells shadowed by them. You open your eyes. Dark side. The word leaves your mouth like an exhale, an instinct. Before you heard yourself sound it out, you didn't know it was there. He sighs. And me. Who am I? You see something like fear in his eyes, panic perhaps. You stare hard at his face, the slight upturn of his mouth, the intensity of his stare. Nothing comes. He closes his eyes and drops his head, putting a hand to his temple. The reboot. He's speaking quietly to himself. Lane interrupted the process and he lifts his head and stares at you. Excuse me? Oh, I was really hoping that would... I see. Okay, yeah. Sorry about that. We need to keep going. We need to leave. He turns and kicks off down the alley. Come on, the rig can't be far. As you are led through the passages and services of the station, you try to recall your life here. The temperature of Darkside feels familiar, but you struggle to pin specific memories to it. Focusing hard, you recall waking up in these passages cycle after cycle. The rhythms of the station flowing over you along with the crowds. You recall desperation, and the slow decay of your body that caused it. Then Lane, those pale eyes, offering you a glittering vial, stabilizer, the promise of supplying more for your work, a deal he locked you into like a cage. There your memory fails you, but in the dark beyond that moment, the residue of panic, of fear, remains. You were Lane's prisoner, Lane's plaything. You shudder in the cold passage. Wait. Your guide holds up a hand and you stop your glide using the wall. Ahead you see the tunnel opens up into a wide open bay, with a few doors leading to cylindrical tunnels, the docks. They're watching the rig. He nods towards the docks and you see one of the doors has a couple of figures flanking it, one covered in ornate tattoos, the other with bright silver implants along their cheekbones. Utsubo, Lane's guys. He looks at you and shakes his head in frustration. All this. It's not coming back to you, is it? Something catches your eye and you see he's playing with a coin, nervously turning over and over in his fingers. He sees you looking and slips it away. He places a hand on his chest. I'm Seraphim, alright? He looks pained when he speaks. Lane, he was our captor. Both of us. We did this so we can escape. We need to reboot you to break your dependence on stabilizer. He pauses. You know what that is, right? You nod meekly. But Lane interrupted me back there. The reboot didn't complete and he sighs and shakes his head. We can still make this work. He looks back at the docks. I'll lead them away. You get the docking bridge open? If we make it to the rig, I know how to get us in. Got that? He searches your face for a sign of recognition. I need some more information. What's the rig? Seraphim looks annoyed. A ship. Our ship. Or at least it soon will be. Lane assigned it to us when we were on jobs for him. Get that door open. I know you can do it. Seraphim kicks off hard and glides into the docks. Over here, shitheads! He bellows to the guards as he barrels through. They immediately push off from the wall, giving chase. You wait a breath and then glide across guard. You look already panicked at the tightly sealed door. Its control panel locked out. You hear a shout from somewhere nearby. You need to get it open. Yep, here's the skill checks. We have dice actions, which have a positive, neutral, negative outcome. Uh-huh. So, yeah, I am much more of an interface person, right? I'm gonna check all this. Okay, so this is your quests. Don't know what those do. We have a map somewhere, but not right now. But yeah, we'll hack a door. We have 50% positive, 50% negative. Nice, okay. You shift to the control panel, your fingers dancing across the keys. Without thinking, you access the maintenance layer and trigger a fire safety venting procedure. The panel drones out a klaxon and the door pops open with a hiss. Go, go! Seraphin flies past you through the doorway into the docking tunnel. You turn to see the two guards approaching fast across the docks and quickly glide after Seraphin. Seraphin is already at the rig's door, inputting an entry code. The rig's door scissors open, and both of you rush inside. Quickly! Seraphin grabs you by the arm and drags you up to the cockpit, the ship's layout hazy in your mind. He dumps you in the flight seat and straps himself into his zone. You see him tapping a series of buttons as he does, talking to himself. Come on! The rig's drive rumbles into life, and Seraphin slams a button on the console. You feel the force of a ship's acceleration as it pulls away. Right, so this is basically the only thing I know about this game, which is different from the first one, is that we're gonna be on a ship instead of like in a city. Which is gonna be interesting. Okay, so here we are. We have 6 dice here. 2 6s is really good, if I remember correctly. The one can be useful. I remember there's a couple of like checks that require like low numbers. As the ship glides into place on the connecting bridge, its automatic systems nudged there by the port docking protocols, you feel a sense of relief. Seraphin burned hard out of dark side, and you dropped in and out of consciousness in your seat as the rig made its way across the belt. And now, with open space between you and Lane, you feel fresher, more awake. Seraphin breaks the silence. We're good, sleeper. His eyes don't leave the monitor, and you realize this is part of your escape is routine for him. You and he must have docked this ship countless times in your work for Lane. The problem is, you don't remember any of them. We made it, he whispers, closing his eyes and letting out a sigh. We did, yeah. He turns and you see a pained look on his face as if he remembers something difficult. Have you said this exact thing to him before in the same situation? Are you okay? He looks at you, chewing one side of his lips, searching your face. Not really, he puffs. Seraphin reaches up, flicking through a set of switches in a practiced fashion. Completing the shutdown, you watch a little frustrated with your own uselessness. Running through the rig, you realize, is another thing you've forgotten. A clunk that runs through the walls of the ship is followed by a short percussive alarm tone from the pilot's console. Docking complete. Seraphin kicks off from his seat, twisting as he glides past you towards the back of the cockpit. His hand finds the rails on either side of the door and he pauses, facing the corridor beyond. He turns back to you, backlit in cold cyan. We need a plan. He glances around. Lane's not gonna let us slip away quietly. He sighs. We kind of need to talk. Maybe I need information. Seraphin, not now, sleeper. We need to forget. He flinches, his words coming out wrong. We need to focus on something other than, he pauses again, unsure. Us. He sighs. We need to survive this thing first, then maybe we talk. Interesting. By the words he's using, I assume we had something going on between us. Or at least that's what it sounds like. But you know what? Fine by me. We have brought ourselves some time. He glances through the cockpit window and blinking lights of the station. You may not remember Hexport, but I do. And there are plenty of opportunities for us here. If we can keep our heads down. That's what we'll do. He pushes off and glides towards the main lock, and you follow, pulling yourself along, hand over hand in 0G. We already emptied the tank on this thing, so we need to refuel. And that won't be cheap. But if you and I know one thing, sleeper, it's how to work. I'm gonna get myself reacquainted, see if I can turn up any old connections. People that might throw us an easy contract. You keep out of trouble. Low profile. Got it. Stopping the reboot halfway through. He pulls out a worn crew jacket from a locker and starts pulling it on. We don't know what that did to you. He jams an arm into a sleeve. I don't want you passing out. He stops. I'll be fine. He grabs another crew jacket and thrusts it at you. Just put the damn hood up, will you? You take it and slip it on. Thank you. Seraphine nods. He stabs at a button to open the lock. The inner door hisses open and Seraphine glides through. Wait for a little bit, then leave. Anyone looking for us will be looking for two people traveling together. He looks at you in your worn crew jacket, a limited disguise for what is clearly a sleeper. We meet back here later. Any trouble? Same thing. Meet here. He surveys your disguise again and shakes his head. This is a shitty idea. He gives you one last look. Maybe find yourself something to eat. Suddenly you recognize Seraphine's instinct to look after you, a flash of a relationship now lost to the reboot. Catch. Seraphine throws a handful of something towards you. You manage to grab the projectiles, and when you open your hands, you see a stack of cryo kites. Those should be enough to get you some food. We'll need some more for fuel and supplies, he grimaces. That means odd jobs on the station for both of us. Don't go too far, alright? Take it slow. Uh-huh. I think we make a plan. You'll need to work, that's the first step, but then what? Lane will be coming eventually. The sooner you can put some distance between you and Hexport, the better. So that's the plan. Rest, resupply, run. You shake the thoughts from your head and pull the jacket tight. Let's see what Hexport has to offer. Alright. This game runs in cycles, perform actions with dice, you require to buy food. Progress clock starts new scenes and events. Yep. Yep, okay. So we have, let's see if I remember how to control this. Okay, so that's rotate. Oh, interesting. So that's like a galaxy map. The rig is your ship and home, while the rest bunks use dice to reduce stress. Use supplies to regain energy. And we can end cycle at any time as well. Got it. You can quickly unleave the rig with right click. Okay. There's crew tasks that they are doing. So this is our main thing. Uh-huh. Okay, so yeah, that's our main thing essentially. So I can choose what Seraphine, what to give Seraphine. What to make Seraphine do, I guess. Yeah, I'm gonna just use keyboard and mouse. Okay. So we have sleeping quarters, and we have the galley. I don't think we have any supplies at the moment. We have 2. We have a bit of energy. We can't go too far from the rig, but that's fine. That's our operator, character screen, yep. We can upgrade and configure. The right is upgrade your push, the unique ability of your class. Only one upgrade at each level can be activated at once. You can configure which upgrade while at a hub. Okay. So like this I can choose which one, right? And I need 2 to do it. I cannot take any endure skills. Can I get information on these? Like what these do? I guess not. Yeah, we have 0 points available. I don't think there's any exchange that's worth it right now. We can look here. Yep. You modified by your skill. Yep. If we're good at it, then you know we're good at it. Positive, negative, and neutral. Each action is safe, risky, and dangerous. Yep. I remember most of that. So I can like drop a 6 here, right? And yeah, 100% positive. Yeah, that is kind of scary. Um, I guess the question is what gets here, right? We can explore. It's dangerous. We can also chat to crew. Here's the exchange. We can trade scraps. It's dangerous. It's an engineering one. We're good at interface. We're good at interface. That means that this should be... Yeah, we get a +1 there. Is that a minus though? Yeah, that is a double minus on engineer. Which means that even a 6 turns into a 4. So that's a little bit scary, for sure. So trading scraps is gonna be not great. But we can impress the brokers. That should be fine. These are neutral for us. So I'm thinking... We have a plus here. I think we do this here. Oh. Still 25% negative. Do I risk it? Like the 1 I really don't want to use. Because that's a terrible idea, right? Yeah. That is a bad idea. There's no safe actions here, essentially. Okay, I think... For sure, we do... I think I do the docks ones. Dangerous here, I think we can just do that. It's 100% positive. It should work okay. That gives a full thing. Clock strike your progress are positive and negative effects. Yep. And I can do that again straight away. Oh, I can't do it again this cycle though. Oh, I can. If I do that, that gets me maxed out on this, which is nice. I can also do that. Oh. Okay, so that unlocks the bends. Let's check in here. You can eat in exchange for cryo. Eating gives you energy. Different food gives different amount of energy. Sure, we'll input 7. That maxes out our energy. That's good. Oh, okay. So we can do this. And that would get us money, which I do kind of need. But I think I want to just max this out first. The question is, what does 3 do? 3 and 4 are basically the same. Okay, I think I do 6 here for sure. Oh, that doesn't quite get it. New location discovered though. That lets us into the warehouse. That's endure, which is minus, which is terrible idea. Okay, I come here. I'm down to do this. At the very least, this won't be negative, right? Nice, okay. New location discovered. There's the trade hall. 25 cryo will get me a full fuel capacity. I can also buy supplies here. Fill supply. 25 is quite expensive though, same with that. Okay. I need to use my 1 somewhere as well. I think this is fine. At the very least, it's only risky. It's at least like somewhat safe. As long as I don't get the negative. Okay, nice. Okay. So that should let me... Yep. As you're gliding across the docking concourse, you hear a scuffle. The noise of Ray's voice cuts through the conversations drifting out of dockside shops. Glancing down an alley, you see a huddle of figures shouting back and forth. You spot one man in the middle of the group, surrounded, pushing the others back as they grab at the bag slung over his shoulder. You don't like the way this looks, but then again, Surfin told you to keep your head down. Russian is a terrible idea, but I think this is 75% right? I think we're okay. Okay, neutral. We take it. You see thick cooling pipes running down the alley wall. You quickly try to understand the system, and shoes evolve to start spinning, and violent jets randomly bursting into the air. Nice. Your vision instantly fills with pale liquid as a jet of coolant jumps out nearby, missing you but sending you spinning in 0G. After a few moments, you manage to steady yourself. As you do, you see a clear alley. The assailants have fled, with one figure gliding towards you. Stubborn salvager captain, Femi. I suppose you think that was clever. The man gives you a severe look. You like to break up fights you didn't start? He laughs. Belt's gonna eat you up. He shifts a large bag on his shoulder. Weightless but unwieldy in 0G. How about some thanks? You think I need you back there? You're the weirdest one I've met, that's for sure. Watch the man go, and then after a moment he stops and turns back. He rubs his forehead, looking down as he does. What's your deal anyway? He sighs. Maybe you are new here, but Hexport is no place for do-gooders. Well, I need help. So you look for trouble. He shakes his head. You've got it all wrong. Look, let's not hang around, alright? I'm Femi. He unshoulders one of the bags and pushes it toward you. Make yourself useful. Let's head. You get the strap of the bag over your shoulder and follow him through the docks, gliding past concourse towards the connecting bridges. Cuts down a side passage, looking back to check if you are following. He stops at a docking connecting to a dull green ship with yellow markings. You look out to the viewing window at its odd catamaran-like shape, seemingly built from two separate hulls welded together. Symbol Crash, he says, and you assume that's the ship's name. Nia. Femi, you bringing in strays? A young woman brightly dressed and stretching as she glides drifts on into the passage. She glances at you. No offense. Nia. This one helped me fend off some Hexport scum while you were busy sunning yourself. Nia raises an eyebrow. I'm sure you can handle them, big brother. Her glib response hides the flash of concern that passes across her face. You can't tell if Femi notices. Nia turns to you. Thanks. And I am sorry for my brother, just in general. Nia. Enough now. Nia rolls her eyes at you, but stays silent. Factory Row wouldn't take these. I'm gonna load them back up. Maybe we'll find a use for them. Turns back to you. Thanks for the assist, Sleeper. He nods firmly. Not what I expected. He kicks the button for the bridge door and kicks off along the docking bridge on his way to the Symbol Crash. Nia looks at you with raised eyebrows. I hope my brother was joking? Or did you really help him? I tried. Thank you. She looks back at the ship. My brother needs help more than he admits. It's okay. She pauses, thinking. I want to ask you something. She takes a deep breath and gives you a direct look. What is she building up to? Are you looking for crew? Sorry to be direct, but you seem like, well, if you're on Hexport, then maybe you are with a crew. I mean, maybe your crew needs crew. Maybe you are looking? Why do you ask? Nia looks back at the ship, then at you. Look, I'll be honest, being on a crew with my brother is nice, but he's suffocating me. She frowns at her own bluntness. I'm not a kid anymore, you know, but he still sees me like one. I want to show him I can handle myself. I need experience. I need to run some contracts. She gives you a determined look. What do you say? Well, I'll think about it. I can tell you that much. Do I need, like, cause if we take in more crew, do I need to buy more supplies? That's the question, right? I'm a good salvager, alright? You can use me. I can spot things, find gaps, ways in. I know what I'm doing. Femi taught me well. Just consider it, alright? Let me prove myself. Suddenly a shout comes from the ship, echoing down the passage. Femi, he makes both of you nervous. Nia looks in his direction. I should go. I'll be waiting. Nia gives you one last glance and she departs, then disappears into the docking bridge, leaving you alone in the passage. New local crew available. Huh. Interesting. I can't get back to there anymore, which I mean makes sense. Now the issue here is I'm left with this one, right? And that might have to be used like in here. We can reduce stress to some extent. Yeah, I think we just do it, because I don't want to risk anything else at the moment. Neutral outcome. Okay, and then we end the cycle. We want cryo for now, I guess. And thus ends the first cycle. 2s, 3s, 4s, a 6 is good. We're in trouble, sleeper. Seraphin leans into the bunk as you're getting up. Without further explanation, he disappears down the corridor towards the rear of the ship. So we got 4 cryo. You drift out into the passage, pulling on your clothes and glide down the length of the rig, cool air making you shiver. Seraphin is a silhouette, silently leading the way. He stops at the far end, diverting through a side door, shooting you a glance as he does. You find Seraphin inside, holding one of a tangle of arm-thick tubes that are waving zero-G engine room. You know what these are? Fuel pipes? Seraphin shrugs. Close enough. These are the engine's feed lines. And before you ask, no, they aren't supposed to be waggling loose. What happened? Must have broken loose when we pushed the ship hard on our way to Darkside. We're lucky the reserve tank is empty, otherwise it would have been bad. But no feed from the reserve tank means that the rig's range is limited to local region only. This thing can't take us anywhere far. Can we fix it? That's the short of it. It's just not been our run of luck. We will need a new set of these, that's for sure. How would you try to track them down? I'll take a look at things here and see if I can figure out another fix for the reserve tank. From what I've heard on Hexport, Factory Row is the place to find shop fitters. Maybe you can do some recon while I sort this place out? It's on the other end of the station. Okay, I'll take a look. Wait, there's something else. I've heard word that Lane's on a hunt. A message went out everywhere in the local radius of Darkside. He's looking for us. And we can't leave. Exactly. Which is why we need those feed lines. I'm gonna try to work something out. Maybe I can improvise a solution. I don't know. I'm no ship fitter. But while I do, you go hunting. See what you can turn up, okay? Get going. Uh-huh. Got it. So we have a new drive. Drive is basically the quest progression, major and minor. A major drive gets 2 upgrade points, a minor rewards 1. And we have a decent amount of cycles to do this. We need to make our way all the way down here. We can't do that one. Intuit is also kind of scary. 4 is not the easiest thing in the world to deal with. We can do this for money. It's not a bad idea for one of my 3s. The 2's a little scary though. Endure is definitely not the way to go. I'm thinking I drop a 6 here. And that's it for this one. And then I use my 4 and 3's in the exchange to see if I can find contracts. I think that's the smarter option. Like this here. Yeah, I'm guessing I'll do this here. At the very least, it will be like neutral, right? Nice, we did it. Very positive outcome. And that leads me to the canteen, which gives me better supplies, but for more expensive prices. Okay. Okay. We throw this in here. This is guaranteed a positive outcome. If we have scraps, we can sell them. We can do this. It's not particularly helpful, but we could. This is also a bad thing for me, engineering, but interface works. Do I drop this here? Like, this is the same as this, right? Like, realistically. There's a possibility that this will negatively impact me, but 75% is, I think, okay. Fingers crossed. Uh-oh. Not great. So we got minus energy for that. We do need food. I think I do this here. We'll see what happens. Okay, 9 cryo. That lets me potentially max out my supply capacity. Oh, sorry. Max out my fuel capacity. Which is not bad. Alternatively, I don't need more cryo. How about you source supplies? I think I do this. Get energy back. Oh, not good. Very not good. Okay, it's fine. Those are really not good. Those are really, really not good. Okay. Well, I definitely need to eat. Okay, it gives 2. That's good to know. I think I just go ahead and max this out. Yeah. Factory row houses you glide through its cramped passages. Whatever its many bays and rooms once were, they now serve as containers for industry of every kind. Whirring manufactories precisely engineer components with rapidly shifting arms, while scrappers hammer insistently at bent ship plates. Everywhere you look, there's energy and activity, and for good reason. Hexport itself is built on a derelict fragment of a solar reflector. And even the small amount of energy generated by its remaining mirrors is enough to power a city of machines. It is familiar to you, of course, in a strange far-off way because of Darkside. That place and your memories of it are a muddy haze, but it is hard to forget the glint of its hexagonal reflectors. 10 or 20 times more in number than Hexport's, and that wild flickering city growing on their back like a tumor. In comparison, Hexport feels provincial, but deep in Factory Row you can almost be back in Darkside. And then you see them, tubes just like those Seraphim have waved in your face. The feed lines. Karsten supply and block capital letters cut from hull plate. There amongst an angled shelf of oversized ship components sit the feed lines like some large biomechanical tangle of snakes. You slip inside where the sound of Factory Row is a little screened and spot a large figure working on a bench, hunched over concentrating. It seems he doesn't notice you enter. Hello? Karsten. Hello? Can I help you? Those feed lines. How much? Sharp clink. Turns with surprising grace and begins cleaning his hand on the cloth. Those sharp eyes scan you, but Carson thinks that features do not betray the results of his assessment. Custom built those for a client that never collected. He looks at his hands while he speaks, checking for stray oil stains. You have one of the old MEVs then. He sounds out the letters in a way you don't recognize as he speaks. You try to recall anything you know about your ship, but the memories elude you. Perhaps Seraphim should have come along. I think so? Karsten squints a little. Right. Look. For a fellow enthusiast like you, let's say a few hundred cryo on clean kites. He shoots a glance at the feed lines. 400, let's say, to be precise. I don't have 400. I'm not even close. It's expensive, I know. It's a shame, but it's just what they're worth. However, I'm more into the bartering type myself anyway. Barter sounds good. There's a favor I need a crew for, and well, you look like you might be a good fit. I know of an old Solheim wreck out there, very old, pre-collapse. It's tucked away in a dead zone, so no one's ever really cut it. Not only that, but Solheim derelicts have a habit of triggering nasty security protocols when approached by an unfamiliar ship, so it's been well left alone. But a salvager like you with an old Solheim rig, I bet it wouldn't even flinch if it saw you coming. I have a special interest, a need for all that old tech. And with all those Solheim ships have a data core, and while I don't care about the accounting reports or material ledgers, or whatever they keep on that damn thing, I do care about the hardware. So if I were to find you back here, with that data core in your cargo hold, clean cut and complete, well then, I can see my way to doing a straight barter for those feed lines. You just need the coordinates. Let's do it. Alright then. Let's keep this one between us, alright? It's our deal. Alright, sounds good. A contract. Servant might even be impressed. Alright. Hi. Young woman here. Sorry, wanted to catch you. I'm Junie. What's up? Karsten, he sent me to grab you. Wants me to come up with you on the job. I don't know if I trust you or not. So why didn't he tell me about it? Karsten always sending me out on things like this. I guess he wants me to help you out. Keep an eye on things. I can be pretty helpful. Should I meet you at your ship, or you can tell me when you're ready to go? Do I trust you at all? No, not really. But you know what? It's our first run. Come along, Junie. What about the ship? Oh, I'll find it. Joker. We don't have much of a choice, Seraphim. What if we could get the cryo together and buy the feed lines? I don't think we can. We have 23. We need 400. Karsten wants a barter. I think we can kind of do it. Plus, I did manage to turn something up in my station wandering. I found a contract board in the exchange further in station. Want to take a job? Right, okay. Alright, sounds good. I'll take a look. Scores up some freelance crew too. Many hands make light work and all that. Seems like a whole bunch of bad options. I still got to work on the drive. Let me know what you decide. Got it. System broken. But like you feel floating away from your body, dispersing, dissolving. There's nothing familiar in the pain, nothing to hold on to. You grit your teeth. Then another shift comes and you are back in your body, trembling against the metal wall. The pain slowly fades, becoming a pulsing throb, and then a residual flicker. Reflects in 0 G, stretching out the tension. There's a strange sensation of distance that persists beyond the pain. A disconnection between your body and yourself, a flickering numbness that refuses to recede. You wonder if the reboot has done something to your body, or if this is some new sensation that you will have to live with indefinitely. It strikes you that you know so little about the body that houses you. It could be moments away from collapse, or it might persevere for countless cycles. You try to shake off the feeling, pushing your hands against each other until they feel like they're yours again. Time is the only thing you need, and right now it feels like it's running out fast. Head for the airlock. Open the map screen to view it. High risk, high reward jobs that you and your crew can take on. You need enough fuel to travel. Gather as many supplies as you can afford. Got it. I need 3 fuel and potentially more supplies. We also need to contract local crew. Okay, so it's either one of those two. Payment 200. Disable signal source. It's somewhat risky. Well, first here's what I want to do. I'm gonna use both my ones on this. Okay. Oh, it's not energy up. Okay, I want you to scavenge for fuel, now. Actually, no. You do supplies. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna drop this into here. I think that's fine. Nice. Okay, that gives us some money. Which means I can fully refuel if I need to, which is really nice. Nia will come with you on a contract if you like. How do I contact Nia again? Is she in the warehouse? No. How do I contact Nia? Probably not this cycle. Next cycle, I guess. But yeah, we can max out our fuel, which I think I will. So what I want him to do then is, yes, look for supplies. And then we can get some more money there. We won't. Yeah, it's not gonna be enough. We need positive to get energy back up. I could also do this, but I don't think it's worth it. I think that's a terrible idea. We can't do that. What can I do with the 2 and 1s? Like, I can do another one of this, I guess. If it works well. If it doesn't, it's a little scary. Nice. 7 cryo. Perfect. This lets me eat next cycle. We have 1 upgrade point, but that doesn't do anything for me. We need 2 at the very least. I think I used the last one to reduce stress. You know, maybe we get it, maybe we don't. Because the 1 is not going to be useful otherwise, right? Okay, minus stress. We take it. Alright, and that's where I'm going to end this first episode. It's been a pretty good start so far. This sleeper's body has been a lot more durable than the previous games. Like, I don't feel as pressured to, you know, do certain things, but atmosphere is definitely a lot, like, more hopeful, I guess, than the previous one, which is nice. It is a nice change. If it was exactly the same, it would be kind of weird. But yeah, next time we will end this cycle and continue. So yeah, I will see you all next time.